What?
Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. Good morning. What is up? Welcome to Hump Day with Hansen. I can't believe it's already Hump Day, but life comes at you fast. It's week 15 in the National Football League. The playoffs, they are upon us. I am John Hansen. That is Tommy T-Bone over there, ready to rock and roll. And we're going to keep it a little less formal, I guess. It is the playoffs. We don't need to wax poetic about dynasty when it is, crunch time. Though I'm sure we'll go in a couple of rabbit holes. Real quick, over on the website, not that it really matters that much. Like, you have your roster now. You're probably not doing many trades, but I did pop up and out on the site in lieu of the players to trade for. I did a little best and worst fantasy playoff schedules. Very quickly, I'll go through the article. My guy, JJ McCarthy, I know, but he was a QB1 last week. And I've been eyeballing this stretch of games all year, or at least half the year. And he is 1 for 1 on those good matchups. What do you say, Thomas? Do you trust JJ McCarthy down the stretch against Dallas, the Giants, and the Lions? Arguably the best schedule for the fantasy playoff passing attacks.
I'd rather start Shador. I can't. I won't risk it with JJ. I can't.
Okay. All right. Well, I would go JJ. I think, by the way, last week's game, and I know it only took him 14 weeks, but that was the first game in which their starting 5 played the entire game. Number one.
That is something we've been talking about the entire time. My thing is, with non-scrambling specific quarterbacks, a lot of variance each week to get there. Like, you could just play Tyler Shuck based on volume and come very close to the same outcome.
JJ's totally touchdown dependent. I get it. He is. He really is. But again,
and have the volume. Volume is
no, he doesn't get the volume. He does not get the volume. But, good offense. When they're clicking, they're going to move the ball. He's going to get a lot of scoring opportunities. That's why I thought, and I understand it's DC, for God's sakes, but that game was literally the roadmap that I envisioned all year. Mm-hmm. I knew they were going to run the ball, stay ahead of the down, keep them in a good situation, diverse rushing attack with Jones and Mason. And by the way, start throwing the ball inside a little bit more. They adjusted their game plan this week, and they did a little bit more of that. And guess who thought that would be how they played all year? Right here. Now, Kevin O'Connell's forgotten more about football than I know, but, that was my analysis, and it took him 14 weeks. We finally saw it, and what happened? He threw 3 touchdowns. So I think he'll get multiples here with these good matchups, and I think there is a speck of upside. He's not like he's incapable of running one in. Like, he'll run. He's run a couple in. So he could easily run a couple in here over these next 3 weeks. And if he runs just one in over the next 3 weeks, I think that's going to get him to top 14, top 12 quarterback range. And by the way, I understand it's a little scary, but you know what else is scary? Starting Lamar Jackson. That's scary. Starting Patrick Mahomes last week. That was freaking scary. Starting Baker Mayfield the last 5-6 weeks. Scary. Starting Bo Nix on a weekly basis. Scary. So, sometimes you just got to forget about the recent past and focus on the future. So that's what I'm doing with the Vikings. Marcus Mariota, I think that's a really good schedule. Philadelphia, Giants, Philadelphia, and then Dallas. Tua, believe it or not, I actually kind of like Tua. Pittsburgh, that's a good schematic matchup. You have Devon Achane hurt, and
if he plays. I haven't seen a lot of reports because it is Wednesday,
right?
But I'm not 100% sure he plays, and if not, I'm not a big Jalen Wright guy. But does that mean those little check down pop pass stuff goes to Waddle then? And if that's the case, Waddle is must start to me.
Yeah, it'll. I have something over here. I'm going to step away from my desk here. Walk over to my printer. Well, here's the problem. I believe we're projecting shadow coverage against Joey Porter, and he's good. He's back to being good. But look, Tua, by the way, got Cincinnati after that.
Yeah,
and then Tampa. Tampa's given up a lot. So you have a good schematic this week and 2 really good matchups. That's all I'm saying. And look, I'm not going to sit here and talk great about like an obvious guy. Like I'm trying to think of one. There are none. Maybe Drake May. Anyway, but I'm focusing on lower end guys who could use some help and some assistance with the schedule. Like we always say, if you're a good running back, go to Kyle Shanahan system. It'll make you great. Well, if you're a good player and you have good matchups, you might be great. Javonte Williams fits the bill. I see him crushing down the stretch here. He's got 2 challenging matchups for the pass against Minnesota and the Chargers, and then he's got the best running back matchup of all. I watched the Viking game last week. They were last night. They crushed DC. They're terrible against the run. Devin Neal. I'm going to shut down Alvin Kamara myself. I have no say in the matter, but I'm shutting him down because he's under contract, by the way. So what are you doing? You're in evaluation mode. I say continue to look at Devin Neal, feature Devin Neal. If you like what you see, now you probably don't have to do anything on running back in the offseason. You got plenty of other issues. You go into the season with Devin Neal and Kamara and somebody else. And by the way, Taysom Hill's not doing anything. Look at the volume he's likely going to get here like he got last week. Carolina, Panthers, Jets, Titans. I mean, come on. That's really good. Saquon, I've actually discussed Saquon as a trade for guy for a couple of weeks, and it's just like McCarthy. I understand we're in the doldrums, but you can turn it around quickly when you have good matchups. And he did crush last week. I didn't expect him to crush last week, but he did. And now we're going to get Lane Johnson back. You got Vegas, DC, and Buffalo. That is a beautiful run right there. Woodrow Marks, a trio of beatable matchups on the ground. Arizona, Vegas, and the Chargers. Pretty good. Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary. Hey, this is a good backfield. Like, this is a productive backfield. They block it up pretty well. It's kind of their identity. It's low-key, good running game and good run-blocking O-line. We've got Washington, Minnesota, and Vegas. That's a very good schedule. And you know where I'm going. Gun to my head. You think I'm going against a fantasy cockroach? Hell no. I wrote somewhere else, when the final seconds tick off, the final game, the cockroach will be on the field. Because you can't get rid of him. That's why. And he'll be back next year, by the way. I have him in Dynasty. I'm just going to keep him forever. He's never going away.
It's like Frank Gore towards the end, right? Like no matter what, he was getting his touches. He was getting his 35 to 50 yards. And he was hindering whatever other fantasy favorite there was on the field. It's just how it goes.
But Gore's a stud, though. I mean, I had one. Clinton Portis, not to name drop, but Clinton Portis once told me that he learned everything about running back position from Frank Gore. He said Frank Gore is the truth. He is him. And I've met Frank Gore. He's like the most low-key dude you've ever seen. He is awesome. I love Frank Gore. I've seen Frank Gore play live once, too. Last game at Candlestick. Colin Kaepernick game against Green Bay, where he ran for like 200. I was at the game. I was on I was like 20 rows from the field. You could hear Frank Gore running. Like you could hear the crunches of Gore. Like I couldn't believe that. Anyway, Chris Rodriguez.
Yes.
He ripped off some nice runs last week, but they had to work in Ja'Cory Krusky-Merritt, which is kind of dumb. Because he had a couple good runs, but at the end of the game, the Vikings were just like, all right, whatever, it's over. And DC just ran the ball like it was a close game. They gave up, basically. Yeah. But Rodriguez early in the game ripped off some nice runs. Speaking of him, Terry McLaurin I've been mentioning him multiple times. And by the way, the data is good with Mariota. It's actually pretty good with Mariota, so I'm not worried about the drop off. And by the way, I'm also just erasing Jaden Daniels, Thomas. Like I'm erasing him. It's over.
Yeah,
they were dumb to play him.
Agreed.
I thought. See, I react from what the teams do. So using common sense, like, well, he must be good, or otherwise, why the hell are they playing him? Well, I don't think he was good. It didn't take much to get that aggravated.
As soon as he landed on it, a little awkward, and you saw the way he was moving, I went, "Oh man!"
Yeah, exactly. Man. And he wasn't doing well, but he probably would have had a decent enough game at the end of it. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but yeah, the Viking D is lights out right now. They're insane. They really are. Juwan Jennings. I wish I could give love to Ricky here, but nope. Ricky durability. Thy name is not Ricky. But we got 3 tasty matchups here: Tennessee, Indy, and Chicago. Ricky's a stud. Ricky's an absolute freaking stud. But you can't make the club in the tub, as my man LaDainian used to tell me. Mike Evans, boy, I'm in a name-dropping move today. Mike Evans and Godwin and Ibuka, I like them all to make a little run here. The schedule very good. The Viking guys, and look, as I wrote, maybe I'm a little hard on Justin Jefferson, but it's aggravating. He's dropped a lot of balls, and they don't need him. You know what?
11 is crazy.
Yeah. You want to go and be a high-paid decoy? That's fine. Now, that said, I watched the game. I still think he could be – I don't have a warm and fuzzy feeling, but I don't think there's like a schism there or like he's butthurt truly. But at the end of the day, he's got to be a little spoiled here. He literally had the greatest quarterback in college football history. And then he goes to one of the better passers that this league has seen in a couple of decades in Kirk Cousins. Mm-hmm. And then you go to what happened last year. And now, first sign of trouble. You're part of the problem, not the solution. I understand it's got to be. I've asked receivers about this. Like, God, that's got to be really hard to run these routes with high energy and competitiveness over and over and over again when the ball doesn't come to you and or the ball comes to you inaccurately. That's got to be rough, man. That's got to be like, it's got to be like you're in prison or something. I mean, like it's like you're on a chain gang or something. Like that's hard labor, but hey, that's why they make the big bucks. Tyler Warren. As I wrote here, a big body tight end can often be a young quarterback's best friend. It can also be an old man and grandfather's BFF. So whether it's Riley Leonard or Phil Rivers, I love it. I'm like 13 years older than Phil Rivers. I'm not even a freaking grandfather over here.
I can't believe we're getting Phil Rivers starting games in the year 2020.
He looked toast 5 years ago.
I know. Well, he had a higher EPA per play than Lamar Jackson did in 2020. He did. He threw for 4,100 yards and 24 touchdowns and took the Colts to the playoffs. We talked about him at length on Dynasty Points last night. I couldn't believe it when Ryan Heath pulled that up. It was insane. But maybe he's had 4 or 5 years to let his arm cool off, and he's just been throwing routes to these entire wide receiver core of children.
That is true. Wow. He actually did throw. Wow. I did not.
Top 20 quarterback in fantasy.
Oh my God. Okay. But still, that was 5 years ago.
That was 5 years ago.
He was 39-year-old man at the time. And, by the way, Stafford, I'm watching Stafford. How old is Stafford? What's he like? 37? Because he still moves well. Yeah. That chamber, man. And look, I'm not saying he was ever freaking Lamar Jackson, but that hyperbaric chamber or whatever the hell he was in, that thing, sign me up for that thing, man. Because he spun out of a couple trouble areas last week. I'm like, wow, he's like a cat out there compared to like Aaron Rodgers and Kirky Cousins. And he's probably older than Kirky Cousins. Yeah, he's 37. How old's Kirky?
Matthew Stafford having a career year just to spite me for saying that I don't want to roster him anymore, because he's been almost unplayable, is just the most poetic thing for 2025.
There you go. Kirky born August 19th, 1988. Stafford born February 7th, 1988. Wow. Unbelievable. Can't believe it. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, real quick. Sorry. We went off on a tangent. Oh, Travis Kelce. I'm not giving it up. As I wrote here, if the Chiefs pull a Jason Voorhees and return from the dead, I can almost guarantee that Kelce will be sporting that hockey mask. Worst play based on the matchups: Chargers, Titans, Broncos. All three giving up digits to tight ends right now. Worst schedules, just FYI. I have Drake May. I don't like it. Caleb Williams. Been saying that for a couple of weeks. Don't like Dak. Don't like Bo Nix at all. Don't like Kyron Williams, Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, we got some issues there. Breece Hall, Jalen Warren, Brock Bowers, Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry, and Oronde Gadsden. Those are just isolating the best and worst matchups for the next 3 weeks. I don't think we need to do anything else but answer the people's questions, Thomas, because it's nut cutting time.
It is put up or shut up time here in fantasy football. I definitely agree. We have got so Omri, I see your super chat. We appreciate you. We love you. I don't see the question to come with it, so I will keep an eye out for
Thanks
that.
for the $4, though.
Yes, absolutely. We appreciate it. I'll look out to see if you post that. Our guy Mark Farmer here says, would you feel comfortable starting Gainwell and Jalen Warren over O'Marion Hampton and Mike Evans if he plays in a full point PPR?
Not particularly. No. I mean, Gainwell and Warren will cancel each other out, and it's very unpredictable, and it's not a good matchup, by the way, because I have Jalen Warren on the bad list. Miami has been tough.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the playoffs, in the race at least.
It's insane.
The playoffs. They're giving up 14.1 points per game to running backs in their last 5 weeks. Now, got to look at who they've played and all that. But look, we've seen Miami. They were a joke in September, and they've been good. I mean, they have been good on defense. Now, granted, maybe they're playing some crappy teams here, like the Ravens. Sorry, Thomas.
Hey,
can you believe your Ravens are only 1 game ahead of my Vikings? I mean, that's pathetic.
I had the Bengals
and the Chiefs
and
the Chiefs.
The Chiefs one is weirder to me than the Ravens one. I had the Ravens finishing 3rd in that division in the preseason. Like, none of this surprises me at all. Please let that leak be correct and let Harbaugh be on the way out.
Oh yeah. Well, I know it, man. When we had Mike Zimmer, I'm like, get rid of this guy, Captain Caveman.
Yeah,
thinks he's Bill Parcells because he coached under him. As I mentioned him, he's Bill Parcells without the wins.
Yeah. That's right. Get Kubiak in the building. Let's get an offensive guy in there with the mark. Keaton Mitchell on those outside.
Oh, Clint Kubiak
for Kubes.
You want Clint? Yeah.
Get him
Clint.
We missed out on Cohen. We've missed out on Canales. We've missed out on good offensive coaches. Lamar Jackson to keep Harbaugh, let alone Mike McDonald, who's doing pretty well over there in Seattle. And we chose Harbaugh. Please. I don't ask Steve Bisciotti for much, but for Christmas, could we just fire Harbaugh?
If I were Steve Bisciotti, I would have a loyalty, though. I mean, the guy got him a Lombardi.
They are loyal to a fault, and
gotta be loyal.
It is tough. And he did sign an extension, but damn.
No, I thought Hampton looked good last week.
Hampton looked great.
It's not the best matchup, but he can catch the rock. I would imagine we'll ramp up and get a little bit more from him than last week. Kamani Vidal got 15 touches. I don't think he gets 15 in the game. So I'm going Hampton, and I'm if I know it's a short week, but I think you got to go Big Mike.
Yeah,
Right?
no record on the line because obviously it's impossible. He'd have to have like 250 yards a game, so that's not
Right.
happening. But you
Well, yeah,
remember,
playoffs are on the line.
yeah,
Playoffs.
that's what I mean. So like the volume might be different, but I have a feeling it was like a couple years ago where Mike Evans was just the fantasy playoff wide receiver, and I have a weird feeling that's coming back. I
I
think
mean,
Mike Evans is going to be must start.
he's not going to do it every week. You can't count on it, but it's just like it's almost routine
Mm-hmm.
when he produces because he's just so physically dominant. You just throw it to him basically, like red zone, end zone, pretty unstoppable. I think you got to roll with them. And by the way, the schedule is nice as I mentioned. The only problem this week is he could see a good amount of AJ Terrell, but I don't think they'll travel. I don't think they travel. So let's see. Oh, we are projecting the shadow. So that is a little bit of a problem, but again, that is going to lower the ceiling a little bit. But I still think the guy's as good a bet to score against anyone in a given week he's starting than any other receiver almost in a league.
Yeah,
You know,
hard to deny. It's what he does. That's
what he does. And
He-
Baker, he's got the perfect quarterback. Obviously,
Yeah.
Baker's not going to hurt his chances of freaking making plays. That's for sure.
No, not at all. And he's Mike Evans is the type of player that you've been told to like fade and fade and fade, and all he does is score and score and score, even if the rest of it doesn't look as good as it once did. And there's nothing wrong with scoring touchdowns in the fantasy playoffs. We shouldn't fear that.
He's also a big play guy, and
He is.
you never know. AJ Terrell could trip and fall. Something could happen. Miss a tackle, and Big Mike is off to the races. So, yeah, I'm not trusting that Steeler backfield. You're just asking for trouble. You really. Arthur Smith is an enemy. He stinks. By the way, Arthur Smith stinks.
Yeah, him getting head coaching consideration comments at this point of
It's
the
a
year.
joke.
It makes me.
We did a whole parody song on Bijan Robinson to close out the season a couple of years ago. And what happened? Since that video dropped, Bijan's been a stallion. Not us. It's addition by subtraction. Get rid of that farty Smith. Yeah, we're going Fannin over Hendry.
We have to. Yeah, we have to. He's been unbelievable, but last week alone, doing what he was able to do in the red zone. I was tweeting. I was like, he's the greatest player I've ever seen. Like, he is insane. Like, every play should just go to Fannin. 8 for 114 and 1. It was Tennessee, but since Shador has taken over, he's the target share leader, receptions. He is their playmaker. Every time he touches the ball, it doesn't matter if you think he's tackled. He's not.
Yeah.
Insane for a guy that doesn't look athletic, but that guy cannot be tackled.
I have written this week that he is one of the best tight ends I've covered, rookie tight ends I've covered in over 30 years. He is so old school to me. Like you could just plop this guy into 1988 and no one would notice. Like, he looks like an 8-year pro out there. It's very impressive. Very impressive. And with multiple quarterbacks. The guy's working with 3 different quarterbacks over here already.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really good. And Hunter Henry, he's got the worst matchup in the world this week. Buffalo. Forget it. Forget it, sir. Sleep like an infant and start Fannin. And I don't even care what happens. That's just the right thing to do. I hate to say it.
He reminds me a little bit of like Dallas Clark.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's not doing it with like burning speed, and he's running really good routes and can break tackles. Like
old school.
Or like even Jason Witten, who wasn't like flashy, but he just beats you up on every route. And
100%. Great route runner.
Yeah. And then you look and all of a sudden you're like, oh, he has 8 for 95 and 1. Like it didn't look overly impressive, but he just kind of got there. It looks really good with him. And he's the perfect player for someone like Shador. So I really like Fannin moving forward.
Yeah, no question.
Oh, here we go. Here we got Omri's question here. Dart or May?
Yeah. I let's see what did May do in that first meeting. This is the second meeting, right? I mean, May had a decent game, right? Let's take a look. Ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah, 273 scoreless yards. I mean, that's certainly not bad. They run two high safeties. He's pretty good against that. He's good against everything. He's got a lot of rushing production against two high safeties. So I'm still going May here. Dart is too risky. May's got a way better body of work, way better offense, way better availability. The matchup is not particularly scary. I mean, it's a tougher matchup, but again, he's got 21 carries for 111 yards and a rushing touchdown on 206 dropbacks against two high safeties, which they'll see all day. And that's pretty good. So, I mean, that right there, I think he can get 30 yards rushing in this game. So what did he do? Oh, he only got 12, but he's evolved from there, and they're going to present problems to the Bills because the Bills are good. They keep everything in front of them. They've got they got three solid corners, but the Patriots have more than three solid receivers. They're rotating guys in and out of there. Pop Douglas will surprise you. Booty probably won't do crap because they'll probably see Benford, but probably be a Diggs game. He is a too high safety guy. He got to that point 10 grabs for a $146 in this matchup in October. So I'm going May. Godwin, Rico, Neal, and Juwan Johnson are likely. Okay. Oh, likely against. I'm going likely.
You have to play the tight ends. You have to play the tight ends against the Bengals. Yeah. It's must. They signed Mark Andrews to an extension, and then continue to use him as a decoy. I don't understand this team. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. But
yeah, well, I'm going likely there over Juwan, and then are we picking two out of Godwin, Rico, and Neal
in a half-point PPR?
I guess I'll go Rico and Neal.
The running backs. I agree here. Godwin did look a little bit better.
He does. Last 2 weeks, I think he looks pretty good. But now you're getting Big Mike back.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, they got freaking Big Mike, Ibuka, Godwin, Tez, Shepard, the fantasy Ottoman, throwing a Bucky. I mean, there's a lot there. So I'm gonna go with Rico and Neal.
I think that's the right call.
Neal's getting a little better running the rock. Love that guy.
He looked. I've taken him off taxi squads to put him in playoff matchups this week. So I'm trusting what I'm seeing without a doubt.
Good vibe guy. Really liked interviewing him at the Senior Bowl. Just FYI, very good, very mature guy. I could tell you that right now. And he's got his shit together for sure.
And he's not in the training table like Kendry Miller was every single week. So
he's just a football player. He's an old school guy. He's definitely an old school guy. Love Devin Neal. Yeah.
Love it. Peter says need to start 2 wide receivers and an additional player as a flex. I think he's flexing on us with some of these options. Amon-Ra, Rice, JSN. Here's where it gets tricky. Trevion and Woody Marks.
Okay. Well, obviously, you got to go with the 3 stud receivers. Even though Rice's matchup is not ideal up against LA. But, they are zone heavy, and he is Mr. Zone. So I'm going to go with those 3 stallions. And that's actually tough between Trevion and Henderson, but I got to go Henderson because we're talking Buffalo. Didn't Ramondre run all over them?
You always play your running backs against Buffalo, right? That's so huge.
Stevenson ran for. Oh, actually, he didn't, but he scored 2 tutties.
Yeah, they're a little bit soft at the middle in Buffalo, and they really just want you to run the clock out. I feel like because they'll just inevitably outscore you with Josh Allen. So they try to keep, the ball on the ground and don't give up the big play.
They don't protect the edges either. They don't protect
No.
the edges, I don't think. So
They just want you to run because they're just
right.
they don't want big plays. They don't want
Right.
playing the running backs. That's without a doubt.
100%. Yeah. There it is. And that's pretty sweet to go into the playoffs with that upside there. I mean,
I gotta take advice from you.
yeah, Marks is great, but Marks is like, oh man, I'm screwed. Oh wait, I got Marks. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas those other guys are like, I got Hendo up against the Bills. Let's effing go.
Yeah, it's got to happen for him here. Michael Powers, Dart or Lawrence in my Superflex. He has the upside with Josh Allen. He's the other quarterback.
Well, Lawrence up against the Jets. They've actually been not bad, but they're certainly beatable. I see good schematic, Matt. We saw signs of life from Brian Thomas. Our guy Graham Barfield willed that into existence last week.
He did.
So we tried the week before. I was a week early on that. Let's see here. Okay. No, it is a slightly positive schematic matchup here for Trevor, who is playing very well, and he's got a floor that's pretty good right now. Let me take a look at Dart. Dart is a little scary for obvious reasons. Will he run? I know the matchup looks conducive to running, but we have the Giants against DC. That is a great freaking matchup. It really is. Oh boy. Let's see here. I think I'm going Dart.
Okay. I like
the matchup's too good, man.
Yep.
Let's see who Chris has. I mean, I watched DC's defense last week. They're bad.
Well,
I mean, they're bad.
When your key free agent signings are borderline retirees in the NFL, it's not surprising that your defense is slow in an era where speed is king.
Era. Oh wow, we have darted 3 this week. Holy chowder. There it is. Okay. I mean, I'm always on the same page as Chris. I haven't talked to Chris in like 3 months yet. We're still on the same page. Every time I go and compare my rankings to him, they're the same kind of.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm assuming. Are you assuming London doesn't play?
I don't think he's playing on.
I guess in a
Thursday.
short week. Yeah. Oh,
short week. Yeah, I don't see, and that's an injury that can come back real quick. He could re-aggravate that fast, and even still, London's splits with Kirk Cousins are really bad. He does not have that upper tier upside when Kirk Cousins has played.
He did last year, though.
It's been depressing.
I mean, last year London had a good year with Kirky.
London was fine on the volume, right? Like he had the 50.
Yeah.
Week 1, he scored in week 4 against Washington, scored against Buffalo after the bye, but it wasn't until we got the that was this year. So last year, 7, 9, 12, 13, 10. It wasn't until like the 10 catch, 7 catch Michael Penix stuff that his real upside was hit. When he scored with Kirky, he was fine, but like 6 for 63, 6 for 74, 4 for 34. He had the one game versus Tampa where he was 12 catches on 13 targets for 154. That was his only game. He had 2 games over 70 yards before week 10 last year. So it's touchdown or nothing for London when healthy with Kirk.
I will say this, though. I mean, it could be a higher scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
He'll see, based on the alignment, Zion McCullough, who's beatable, and it is a pretty good schematic. So if London is active, I think I'm going with him. But if not, I probably remove Ibuka.
Really? Okay.
I mean, just because
I don't disagree with you at all.
You look at Philadelphia, it's like, all right, Goddard, Brown, and Smith. That's it. In Green Bay, we're not sitting Watson, for God's sakes. And then Genty, I understand it's a struggle bus, but my man's getting 15, 20 touches or opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
They're throwing him a lot. So I would remove Ibuka.
Yeah, Ibuka's got a little bit of the yips. You can't argue with the target share, right? 9, 8, 8, 9. But like you said, we've got the veterans kind of coming back, getting in. Tough to rely on just that volume alone. So very interesting. I agree with
Oh,
you.
did you see who my Dodgers got for our new closer? You ready?
Diaz, yeah, 3 for 67, which is interesting. I think he just wants to beat the Mets. I think he's just.
I'm all for it. I feel bad. My brother is, 5 years older than me. He's going through some stuff, and he sends me an email, a text. Dodgers got my effing closer, and he's not happy. I was like, sorry.
I found it interesting that he was projected to land 100 million, and he took under 70. Which,
well, see, that's why. But real quick, you want to put a salary cap to stop the Dodgers? Go right ahead. We're still winning. Okay. It's still the best team, the best organization, the best place to play, the best weather, the best endorsements. We're still beating everyone else. Period.
right.
Go ahead. I dare you put a salary cap in there. We'll still kick ass.
I don't think we need a salary cap. I think we need a salary floor.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But shout out the Pirates who actually offered 100 million to Schwarber. Shout out to him.
That was for show. They knew he wouldn't take it.
Yeah, I agree. But shout out to them for trying.
Shout out to them for their fake offer. Way to go,
That's
guys.
right. BTJ or cockroach, and someone's at my door. I got
it's okay. Go get the door.
Fantasy cockroach.
Go get the door. Kyle Schwarber. It's amazing. The guy is making all this money. The dude literally lived 3 blocks away from me when I lived in New Jersey, but that's neither here nor there. RCJ, and thank you for adopting the fantasy cockroach because it's probably the best nickname of the year. BTJ or the FC. Oh,
yeah, the
boy.
FC again.
Yeah, but I mean, how much do you trust BTJ here after 1 week? It's been 1 week since he did something. Da 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 da. That's you're a Canadian. Come on, sing along. Jets deploy 6 eyes straight of man coverage. He's pretty good against man. But is Parker Washington returning? I'm going with the cockroach. Here. They're going to run for 125 yards, and their running backs will score 1 to 2 touchdowns against the DC Commandos. No offense to Dan Quinn, but it's like, dude, give it up. It's not any good. And I'm going with the cockroach.
Yeah, what a season. I can't believe this season. It's truly kind of insane.
And by the way, I've interviewed Devin Singletary, the most boring interview of all time. And I say that almost in a complimentary fashion because this guy's so no frills. He's just, I'm going to show up to work. I'll be pretty good. I'll be available and I'll never get hurt. Why? Because I'm the fantasy cockroach. That's why.
He's something special for sure. I remember a time in my home league, people made a big stink over him being traded, and just looking back on it now, and he's still playing. He's
solid. You know the comp was? You know the comp was on him? Poor man's LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he's got great lateral agility.
Yep. He feels like he runs faster sideways than he does straight forward, which 100%. is interesting.
Exactly. That's exactly right. But I mean, he shows up. I guarantee he's never late for team meetings. He's always there. He does everything right. And it's just, that's why he lingers. What else we have?
We've got from our guy, Rob, need some help, Purdy or Dart. Oh my goodness. Purdy or Dart.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to go Dart there. I mean, it's Tennessee. Is Purdy going to be like doing some heavy lifting in the second half, coming off a bye in San Fran? I mean, maybe Ward, does some good things with not much of a pass rush in his face. But yeah, I'm going Dart. I think the matchup's too good. By the way, I mentioned this on the VSiN show. Troy Aikman, who I have grown to really appreciate Troy Aikman because, him and I are the same age. Well, he's a couple years older than me, but I mean, I remember him obviously in college. I watched the entire career. Really good player, but he's a very good analyst. And he brought up a comp for Jackson Dart that blew my mind. I can't believe I didn't come up with it myself. I don't know if you caught it.
No.
And you don't remember this guy probably, but it is so spot on. It's not even funny.
Okay.
Jim McMahon.
Oh,
I was like,
Bears quarterback, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing him play, but
I was blown away. That's it. That's the comp. He's Jim McMahon. He's Jim McMahon reincarnated. Jim McMahon would run.
Yeah.
He was the Vikings quarterback one year, and they made a run in the playoffs. Actually, won a playoff game with Jim McMahon. He was a warrior.
He's even got he's got like the mullet. He's got the headband.
He follows me on Twitter. Actually, I'm gonna send him a DM. Hey, what do you think of that Jackson Dart comp, Jimmy?
Do it. I would love to hear that. He said he also needs a flex in a half-point PPR as well. Jefferson, Corum, Mike Evans if he goes, or Flournoy if CD sits. He said thanks and enjoy the lumpia.
Yeah, I love that lumpia. Man, that's pathetic. I gotta go JJ. I gotta go JJ here. It's Dallas. We're gonna get pointage in this game. Do we really think? I know it's a nationally televised game, which is scary for JJ McCarthy, but do we really think Jefferson is going to crap the bed here on national TV? I'd say no. I'm going with him. I got to do that. I mean, come on, Corum is a freaking backup for God's sakes. So we're only starting one though.
Yeah, needs a flex.
Well. Unless the word is like ultra positive on Evans, like, oh, he's ready to go, like in the vibes. I don't know how much you're going to get insight wise before the kickoff, but what do you think about that one? Mike Evans or Jefferson? I can see Evans.
So Evans got a limited practice here on Tuesday. I think
I'm going Jefferson.
I think I trust. I don't know. My heart tells me Jefferson. My heart does. But he has been almost unplayable here over the last couple of weeks. But
he's going to need a touchdown, but he is due.
He is absolutely due.
He's going to need a touchdown.
I will trust the guru vibe with Jefferson in this case.
Yeah.
It is.
That was a nice confidence builder for JJ last week, though. It really was. It was. And they adjusted. They made some adjustments. They played a little bit more like I thought they would freaking play. As I said, you work it inside a little bit more, get it to the tight ends a little bit more. JJ, I noticed that Michigan was really good throwing between the numbers. I thought he would be firing missiles to Hawkinson down the seam a lot. They should have played a little bit more that way, but they're a deep passing game, and they try to just roll out of bed with McCarthy making his first freaking starts with the same deep passing game. I mean, it worked with Darnold, but Darnold was in the freaking NFL for 6 years beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my theory with O'Connell, is that he's really good with veterans that have played already and understand the language and practices and whatever, and maybe not so good with rookies. And
by the way,
inexperienced.
Drew Brees did the game last week, and I don't know if anyone notices Drew Brees. He's pretty good. I mean, he's freaking Drew Brees.
Yeah, he's gotten better. In the booth, it's not like Tony Romo has gotten worse.
Tony Romo's totally mailing it in. It's so annoying. The Jim Nance's legacy is I'd quit if I were Jim Nance.
Yeah, he's trying to do everything he can. And then like you look at guys like Brady, who's just not that good in the booth, but you look at like Greg Olsen and Breeze, I mean, real solid, gotten a lot better. Our guy Vince here says, I know it's early for start and sit. It is. But he's looking for Purdy, Love, or Lawrence. Okay.
And real quick, my thought on Breeze. Breeze did the broadcast last week, and he was talking about, and I know this because I love Drew Brees coming out of Purdue. The second or third year he was in the league, he was my guy, my sleeper of the year. and he sucked. And I got 40 emails. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
You should retire. Well, guess what? He's making the Hall of Fame. And Drew Brees said on the broadcast, he's like, hey, I get it. It took me 4 to 5 years before I was truly comfortable in the National Football League. 4 to 5 years. People are writing off McCarthy after 4 to 5 starts.
Well, I've been saying that the league and Twitter today would not have survived Peyton Manning's rookie season.
No.
Right?
Drew Brees' career would be over. Drew Brees was trash for a moment there in like year 3.
Yeah, his third year in San Diego wasn't too hot. 11 touchdowns, 15 picks, 2,000 yards. He kind of turned it on in San Diego, but if it was the right coach, right system, right scenario, it all clicked. It's not surprising that he would say that. Oh my goodness, not surprising that he would say something like that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Purdy, Love, Lawrence.
That's right.
See, I kind of like Love. They play man. He beats man. What do we have? We have Lawrence. Okay. Purdy. Okay. Here's the way I would look at it. Where do we have Purdy? Oh, we have Purdy higher. Maybe just go Purdy as your safe. I would say this. Purdy and Lawrence are very, very close. And they're safe. They're steady. They're a little boring. I would go with Love if I felt like I need a little upside. But here's the thing, like, I don't think Bo Nix is going to make it a big game anyway. So yeah, I think that's probably why Love is suppressed a little bit. He might max out at like 2 tutties and like 200 yards. Maybe he runs a little bit, but yeah, okay. I would go. Boy, who do I trust more? I mean, that's really close between I'm going to go Purdy. I'll go Purdy. It's close, but I'll go Purdy. Love, maybe if I needed upside. But again, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Bo Nix is doing well against Green Bay. It's like a worse matchup for Bo Nix possible.
I feel like
Green Bay.
Yeah, I think post-bye 49ers playing the Titans is just going to be a boat race that they keep the pedal down. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you're really hoping Purdy scores 2 or 3 times in the first half. I think it's going to be some Brian Robinson in the fourth, but I think he can get there. 2 checkdowns to Christian McCaffrey can get you there, right? Like
and Juwan Jennings looks really good this week too. And it's not like Ricky's dead. Ricky's still there, and Kittle is just unstoppable.
Yeah, I can see a 5 touchdown on the 49ers side, and if you're Purdy, you're getting 3 of those. So I like it. I like that call. PPR 1 flex tight and a tight end. Keenan Allen, Pat Bryant, Gadsden, and Barner or Andrews.
Well, I'm not going Pat Bryant. Give me a break.
No, Pat.
You got freaking 11 different receivers trying to, haul in passes from Bo Nix, who throws for like 204 yards. Gadsden, Barner, Andrews. How much do you trust Andrews after last week?
Only because it's the Bengals. Would I consider them? I'm
going Andrews.
Barner got 4 targets this last week. He's gotten at least 4 in every game since week 6, which is nice. He didn't play, he did play. So he didn't get a target in week 10 versus Arizona. But aside from that game, he's had at least 4. Since week 7. So I like Barner a little bit, but
just think of it this way.
I think I'm going against the Bengals defense. I think so.
You're going with
going against them. So Andrews.
Oh, that's exactly right. And here's what I'll say. By the way, Barner doesn't do very well against man, which you're still apparently running. Just imagine how dumb you'll feel if you don't start Andrews and he scores 2 touchdowns against the worst defense covering tight ends in the history of the National Football League.
Truly insane.
Like, how dumb will you feel? Like, pretty dumb.
In the most Ravens possible thing, though, it's going to be Charlie Kolar. That's
oh yeah.
Like, it's going to be something weird, but I have to play Mark Andrews here without a doubt.
Yeah, I love Charlie Kohler though. Do you say Kolar? You say Kolar, huh?
I thought it was Kolar. I've heard Kolar on broadcast. So
I called him to his face, Charlie Kohler, and he didn't correct me. So
okay. Well, hey, the broadcast. Look, we've learned from the Mario Ta scenario that broadcasters don't always enunciate correctly. So
Charlie Kohler was an outstanding young man, by the way.
He's awesome.
Outstanding guy. Both his parents are college professors. I thought was fascinating there.
He's taking over for Likely. Like, Likely's not going to come back. I think they're okay with him doing that too. He's
a huge. I showed you the picture of me and Charlie Kohler, right?
Mm-hmm.
That guy's massive. I'm
huge.
6'2". I look 5'9" next to this guy. Like, no offense to 5'9" people.
Yeah, me. You're looking like me out there.
DST, gotta win.
He's apologizing for the DST, but he needs a win. Kansas City or Pittsburgh.
Let's see who we have higher, because you know me, I'm not dialed into that. Let's take a look. We do have KC higher. Not the best matchup against Herbert. Tua. That's in Miami. Yeah, I'll go KC because the O-line issues there. They're still there. You know, Herbert had plenty of pressure on him last week. One of the reasons he took off and ran so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go KC. I'd be a rankings biatch here and go off the site rankings.
Yeah, we've been pretty good. Hard to deny the rankings right now. Our guy Thornton picked 2 in a Superflex: Herbert, Purdy, Brissett, or Jaden / Mariota.
Pick 2. Okay. Herbert, Purdy, Brissett. Let's take a look here. Boy, Herbert, probably Purdy is probably in. And Brissett, we've just been defaulting to just start him, but this is a different animal. This is Houston. Houston is a problem. So I'm thinking, where the hell's Herbert? Yeah, we have Herbert. Yeah, I would go Herbert. It's a way better matchup. Lad McConkey should do very well inside. You know, that's their weakness. I'm going to go Herbert and Purdy.
I'm starting to see a little bit of the old Greg Roman passing game design come back here in the last couple of weeks, and that has been scary. But I'm hoping.
Is that why guys aren't producing?
Yeah, so what they were doing at the start of the year to what they're doing now, it feels like old habits coming back. Like the crossing routes aren't the same. They're trying to hit these just vertical routes nonstop. They're not picking apart any kind of, like I said, crossing route, middle of the field type stuff where it was working really well with Allen.
I thought Keenan Allen would do a lot better last week.
He should have, but they weren't. If you asked the charting team, like the routes he was running when they had him in, same with Ladd. Like, yes, Ladd dropped the one ball.
Ladd seemed to be open early in the game.
Yeah, and they're just not designing a lot the way that they used to. I'm seeing some old vintage Greg Roman trying to galaxy brain his way through a game instead of just using his studs. So
it's a good tip. That's a good tip.
It's what I'm seeing.
Well, he is from my old neck of the woods. I went to high school in my old hometown, and I'll just say the people from that area, they're not that bright.
Well, he's not as welcome in Baltimore as some other folks here, but he has to sit one in PPR as well. Hampton, Dowdle, Harvey, Tracy, Egbuka, and then he has a tight end question as well.
I mean, I'm sitting Egbuka. You're sitting only one of those? I'm sitting Egbuka, who is struggling, not doing much, and who is now going to be, sharing the ball a little bit more with Big Mike and Godwin and the Ottoman. Hell, is McMillan in play? Now, if Evans is out, then I would probably sit Tracy and play Egbuka.
Okay. All right.
And I'm going, Warren or Likely. Oof.
You get the check downs with our guy, Old Man Rivers.
I mean, are we definitely getting that?
He's playing, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, man. Well, young quarterback's best friend is a tight end, big body tight end. Also a grandfather's best friend, middle of the field. Let's see who we have higher. Ba-ba-da-ba. Oh, man, we have Warren down the board a little bit here. Yeah, I think I'm still going Warren. It's a good matchup, by the way.
Good matchup. Good matchup. Yeah, we are definitely getting old man Phil.
Okay,
We're
well,
definitely getting Phil.
Phil's smart enough to know he's going to throw a lot to Pittman and Warren, two tall receivers, and maybe a little Pierce.
We were talking last night about, we were like, well, he's 44, he doesn't have an arm, and it's like, did you watch him in like 2008? I don't know if he had an arm. That like he's never been like a laser rocket thrower. He's always had that weird shot put. Hopefully it gets
100%,
there,
100%.
and it gets there. I think he can hit 5 yards, and that's going to be Tyler Warren's sweet spot.
Yeah, I told a story about him years and years ago. I liked Phil Rivers a lot as a prospect, and I was doing Philadelphia radio with a former NFL quarterback. You've never heard of him, but he got some starts with the Jets out of Boston College, Glenn Foley, who lived in my old hometown and all that. And he was kind of a jerk, but he was breaking my balls all year about this quarterback. He's like, I thought you were going to be good. I want to reach out to him. Hey, Glenn Foley, Phil Rivers is making the Hall of Fame, buddy. Remember that guy we were breaking my balls about 24 years ago? Hall.
Do you know what's
in the Hall?
If he plays this Sunday, right, he pushes his eligibility back 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
The clock for the Hall of Fame. He's a current semifinalist. That is some amazing stuff to be willing to do that. And it all came together. Jacob let us in on this. Jacob Sanderson, who's all in on Colts Twitter and everything. Rivers reached out to Steichen to understand the offense so he could run that offense at his son's high school. Like, he has been taking lessons from Steichen already. That's why he just knows the offense. He's been calling it, coaching it to some degree. Pretty interesting storytelling here if this can happen. Now, do the Colts make the playoffs? I don't know. Do they get eliminated in the first round? Probably. So fun. Absolutely. Yeah. So fun.
I'm surprised Phil Rivers' son isn't an offensive coordinator already himself, since he is a grandfather. Well, but I do believe that was his daughter as a child, so she probably had a kid in her early 20s.
Right.
What else do we have here?
We've got PPR Flex, Dowdle, Chuba, Hendy, or Jennings.
Juwan. I'm going Juwan. And Dowdle, well, I mean, Chuba is getting a little bit more involved here.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So that's a little bit of a problem. That waters it down a little bit. Dowdle didn't crush in the first matchup. They're actually, I can't believe how good the Saint defense has been, by the way.
They've turned it around. They went from a joke to an absolute tough matchup,
and with a lot of no-name players.
Yeah,
it's very impressive. So I'm gonna go Jennings and Hendy.
Yeah,
Hendy's got that great matchup.
Yeah, I would play Jennings over Henderson. I believe. I think if we had to, I'm not sure if he needs one or two here, but
Juwan Jennings, by the way, since week 9 is a top 20 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 14 points a game since week 9. It's pretty good.
Yeah, once the he was playing with 3 broken ribs and a different injury. Once that news came out, and he kind of got some time to come, but when he's been healthy, he's been the guy. So
right, for sure,
hard to deny him. Shout out to guy Ryan Heath, who's just all over that, even after the Pearsall hot start.
Yeah, I think they wanted Ricky to kind of be the guy, but he can't do it right now, and he couldn't do it this year, and Jennings is just right there standing by ready to go. But I do believe that they wanted to feature Ricky a little bit more big plays. Ricky, that's kind of the problem with Ricky, though. He doesn't get a ton of like short to intermediate things. It's a lot of these shot plays, so he's a little volatile, whereas Jennings is a little bit more of a all over the field guy. Scanny checking in. What does he got?
Scanny is once again checking. It says going against CMC plus HN. Oh, RIP. With terrible matchups on my team, why is my gut telling me to play Likely over Strange this week? And am I playing JMO over Flournoy if CD is out?
Yeah, I'm not playing Flournoy. If CD is out, I don't trust it. I know he went for 100 last week, and he's had a nice little run here. This is year 2 for him, by the way. Last year there was some hype for him, but JMO has been getting fed the ball. Don't think that's a particularly scary matchup, although they've been better on the outside this year. But I see here cover 3. He's pretty good, just under 2 yards per route run. Oh, and he got 5 grabs for 121 and a touchdown against the Rams last year. So I'm going JMO there, thinking, hey, shootout, high scoring. Let's depart. It's in LA, no weather concerns. I'm going JMO. And, let's see here. I mean, I'm certainly fine. Let me just inspect Brent Strange real quick. Pretty good schematic. The Jets have been, pretty sus. They run man coverage. He's pretty good against man. That's a tough one, Likely, I think I'm probably just going Strange there. But it's a tough call. I mean, Likely has more upside.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely does. But
Strange is a little more stable. He's not without upside. I mean, Strange had a touchdown call back last week, by the way. Lost me a freaking prop, by the way. Now they called it like a pick play or something. You notice they're calling a lot of pick plays lately this year? Offensive pass interference. I'm seeing a little bit more of that.
I've seen I've noticed the arm extension.
That's annoying too.
Yeah, well, that called more, but right. I haven't noticed the pick thing.
It's like you have to actually push off to be called for, not pantomiming it.
And so then a couple weeks ago, we texted about this, the Zay Flowers thing, right? You had the call, he made the catch. They called him for that offensive pass interference. The very next week, DK Metcalf stiff arms the DB and catches the touchdown, doesn't get it. So what does he have to do? Be 6'4" to get away with it? I don't. And it's the Devontae Adams special. Like Devontae Adams does this on every play. So it's just one of those weird rules that we'll just never understand how or why it's called. But
they don't know what the hell they're doing. The people in the NFL still don't know what a catch is. We're still deliberating, and we're changing the definition of a catch like 6 times in the last 30 years. It's annoying.
Isaiah Likely caught that ball. That's a touchdown. Catch.
Hey, it's a touchdown in 88. It's not in 94. It's a touchdown in 99, not in 02. It's a touchdown in 07, not in 2012. They keep changing it.
Yeah. The definition of a catch in the end zone, now you need to make a football move when you're in the end zone. It just, I don't know. It makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. RCG said last question, and thank you. Well, thank you. Purdy or JJ in a 6-point passing touchdown.
Okay, there we're not pushing the envelope there with JJ. We're trying to be a hero if we're trying to start a JJ, and sometimes we don't need another hero. So let's go with Purdy there, the Brock Ness monster. By the way, my quarterback calls
the Brock Ness monster.
Yeah, you never heard of that one?
No.
Brock and roll. Yeah.
Brock and roll. I the Brock Ness monster is that one. That one's getting used.
I started that with the Brock Osweiler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the stork.
Well, he has a better name holder than one Brock Osweiler. Man, I thought Brock Osweiler was going to be him. I really thought he was going to be.
You know who I didn't know? You know who I knew right away was going to suck? Who's the other guy they drafted? Denver, the quarterback.
Ryan Mallett?
No, that was New England. I thought Paxton Lynch.
Oh, God.
Oh, from day one, I'm like, this guy stinks. And he did. There's a guy you could tell. I'm not there yet with JJ McCarthy. That is for sure.
I haven't heard the name Paxton Lynch in a while.
But with Paxton Lynch, I was like, I saw like fourth game. I was like, no, this guy stinks. Nope, he stinks. All right.
Insane. I'm just going to quickly run and have a look here. Make sure I didn't miss any.
Let's take a look.
Big DS says, just want to say, been following the Guru since the early serious days. Love the collaboration. It's gurific.
Well, thank you, sir.
He's been here every single week.
All right, stop. Collaborate and listen.
Up in age like the legacy heads to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, that just phenomenal stuff.
That's a badass move,
Rivers.
though. It's like,
yeah,
you know what? I'll forgo the Hall for half a decade just to play a game. I'm good.
Yeah, I want him to so badly come in and throw 3 touchdown passes. Like, I need it in my life. I need that story. It's going to become a documentary. It'll be a movie.
To make it even better, how about he's battling with somebody throughout the game, and then he throws a touchdown on the guy or with the pass rush right in his face, and then he talks shit
in the most Phillip Rivers way, where he's like, "You're darn right."
By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but I saw it on Twitter the other day. There's an audio file of supposedly Phil Rivers ripping Joe Burrow, and a couple of people shared it, but it's not Phil Rivers. It's my guy Lance Zierlein from who does draft stuff at NFL.com. He's a friend of mine forever. He also does Houston radio, and he does a hell of a Philip Rivers impersonation. But they put out a clip of it. He was like, you know what? I'm getting sick of this Joe Burrow. He looks like a wide receiver with his hair and this and that. And a couple of people thought it was real, which is hysterical. But.
Yeah, you got to be careful on these internet now because anything is possible. But yeah, phenomenal. One thing I don't want to see, Guru, before we wrap it up, just a final thought thing. I don't want to see him go out there and just get beaten, just beat up, look terrible, throw 5 picks. Like, it is a tough defense, but it would kind of just throw sand on the fire of the comeback story. So I don't want that.
Well, he's smart enough to get rid of the damn ball if he's getting pressured.
That's right. Yeah, that clock is still going to be there.
That's like rule number 1 that people don't listen to at quarterback. But I think I said this somewhere else, but I worked with a number of quarterbacks over the years, one of them being Ron Jaworski, where, that was like my first lesson working with Ron Jaworski is get rid of the ball, Mr. Quarterback. That's number 1. Just get rid of it. You got to get rid of it. These people holding on to the ball more than ever because they don't know what the hell they're looking at, quite frankly. But Phil will get rid of it. He'll have a semblance of a clue, and he'll know to get rid of it, basically. So I'm sure he'll get sacked a couple of times. Do we have other questions, or we're going to wrap her, Roni?
We are good to wrap her up. We're at an hour and hour and 10 of hashtag analysis here on Hump Day for week 14. We can take us on out of here.
All righty. For Tommy, I am Johnny, and this has been by the way, my brother's name is Thomas, and he calls me Johnny for 40 years, just FYI. But for Tommy, I'm Johnny, and this has been your Week 15 edition of Hump Day with Hansen. Good luck this week. Make sure to check out all the content. I will work 39 hours on Hansen's Hints to get up late Saturday night. I think I got it up at like 9 p.m. It was like early for me, but decent shelf life. Pretty good last week with the analysis. So I will look hardcore into every single player of note and give pretty good opinions on them with the data and all that. But good luck this week. Hopefully we'll see you next week. And we will, in fact, catch you on the flip side.
What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.